bit nervous.
It's okay.
Congratulations on your last fight. That was an awesome knockout.
Thank you.
How does it feel to get a knockout at this high of a level for you?
It's amazing. Like when I sit back and look at it, and against the opponent I did it against, it means a lot just because he's been knocking everybody else out and with body shots and stuff, and everybody's scared of him. Like everybody was like, oh man, like I'm at home and my brother-in-law came up to me, he goes, DJ, you're gonna fight Joseph again, right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna fight him. And he goes, I'm so worried about you. And I'm like, I looked at him, I'm like, why? And he goes, he's been beating everybody up. I'm like, that ain't me. I mean, I'm going there to fight. So I mean, it's a great thing, and you know, hopefully I can keep on doing that. But at the same time, it can happen to me. So I'll look at it at both sides.
Well, we're looking forward to watch you evolve.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey DJ, I got a question for you, man. I really appreciate you, everything you've done for the division so far. Earlier in your career, you had a full-time job. I myself had a similar job. I can appreciate it. How'd that build your character, knowing that you had to, you know, fight a lot of fights against somebody who, you know, didn't have a full-time job, and you had to, you know, manage your time between work and fighting?
Yeah, it's a good question. When I was working full-time, like I think that helped me build my character as to work hard, and you'll see improvement. You'll see a reward to it, I guess you can say. And for me, like I was working, you know, 50-hour-a-week jobs. I'll be running home to watch WEC, watch Joseph fight Jeff Curran, watch Miguel Torres fight Chase Beebe. So I was that type of, you know, worker. Like, you know, I'm a fan of the sport as well. But you know, even though I'm at the highest pinnacle of the sport, you know, I can lose my next 3 fights. You know, working at the warehouse again, just because it can happen. So I guess me working is just a reality. It shows me the reality of fighting. Like Dan White says all the time, you have a short amount of time to make as much money as possible. Then what? You're back to working a 9-to-5 job.
I had another question. Any of your coworkers ask you about a black eye you might have been sporting the next day after a fight?
No, they all know what I do, and some of them come watch, but typically I don't get black eyes in the fight. Well, I've got black eyes in the fight, but they don't ask. I know what I'm doing. They all know what I did.
Hey, thanks. Good luck.
Oh, thank you.
Hey DJ, got 2 questions for you.
Okay.
When you fought Dominic Cruz at the end of the fight, whenever they were showing the winner, it appeared that you had a swollen jaw from a knee the last 2 minutes. Was that a broken jaw? I looked and I couldn't find that on
No, it wasn't broke. I went to I thought it was shattered. But I went to the doctor and got it looked at, and it was just fine. It was just basically a hematoma.
Okay, awesome. And second question. It seems that you've hit a nice peak ever since the draw with Ian McCall. It seems like you've been on the next level. We know you've been with AMC Pancration for a long time. What caused this peak right here?
So what happened when I was training for the first fight against Ian McCall, my first time at flyweight division, I'd never fought at flyweight my whole entire life. Like I've always fought at 135 just because that's where the money was, and I didn't want to go to 125, there was no division. So when that happened, I was training with 2 different coaches. Like I would wake up in the morning, go do CrossFit, then after CrossFit drive up to Kirkland, do in-zone athletics, and then I would rest, then train at night, and then I was just doing too many things. And then I went on a stupid paleo diet. I cut carbs out of my diet completely, and I was just eating chicken and cucumber. And then when I got there, I only cut like 1 pound, and then you know, my body was just exhausted. So after that, Matt said, scrap that. Whatever you do now, I'm watching. Like, whatever you, I ain't gonna go there, but whatever you do, I'm watching. So that's the huge change. Like me just being underneath Matt Hume the whole time. Like whether I'm swimming, you know, training, he's always there watching.
Great, looking forward to the next one.
Aye.
What's up, DJ?
What's going on, man?
It's going. Hey, going back to Dominic Cruz, I just want to ask, that's one of the best fights I've seen in the UFC. You did a great job. One of my best fights, like I said. My question is, what's your opinion about, since Dominic Cruz was absent for 2 years, since not defending his title belt, what's your opinion about the UFC taking his belt away?
It's very unfortunate, and I think Dominic made the comment as well, is that the UFC is a business, it's a train, it's going to keep on going whether you're on it or not. And like I said, it sucks, but Dominic Cruz, he's a great fighter, and he's a hard worker, and I can see him coming back and, you know, challenging for his title. You know, the UFC's got to keep it moving.
Right. Next question is, who you going for since Uriah Faber's taking his place? Who you rooting for against Burrell?
I don't, I'm going for this man or I'm going for this guy. My mindset on that fight is that if Uriah can go out there and make it a scrap like he did against Mike McDonald, then I can see Uriah Faber win that. But the thing that people, like when you see one person be so dominant against all these other people, and then he gets to a person who understands distance, has good footwork, knows how to fight, is well-rounded, it's a totally different ball game. So when it comes to that, that's what Renan Barão brings to that ball game. He's not scared, he's not intimidated by Uriah, not that any other past fighters that he fought was, but Renan Barão can fight, so it's gonna be a great fight.
Are you against the alpha male?
No, not at all. Only when I'm fighting him. I told those guys there's no hard feelings. I'm doing my job, gotta pay my bills.
Last question.
Hey, well, that's a good question. Go on.
One more. During fight camp, before you go to your fight camp, what are you walking? What's your weight?
140, 142, 143. When I get here to fight, I'm 140, 142. I try to keep my weight right about the exact same because you see a lot of fighters, they cut like 20, 25 pounds, and then, they rehydrate, and then their body's not to where it's usually at, to where I like to keep it like, I walk around, I fight around, this is where my weight stays. So my body runs efficiently here.
What about the Dolce diet?
I don't need that.
Do you like it?
This is my opinion on diets in general. If I need somebody to come into my camp, I'm not knocking anybody. If I need somebody to come to my camp to tell me, hey, you need to eat this, you can't do that, don't you be doing that, then that means I'm mentally weak. Like if I need somebody to tell me that, it's called read a book. If I read a book and say, okay, this is how your body digests certain things, then that's what you do. So that's just my mindset on that.
Like your answer. And congrats on your last fight and defending the belt against Jose Benavidez. It was a good fight. And Reed Harris is the man.
Oh, look at Reed. Go ahead. Give a round of applause for Reed Harris.